Hi guys, it's Mrs. Voss from the Stonegate Art Room. Today we are going to talk about quilts and the rich heritage of quilting in the African American community. Quilting is a type of art known as fiber arts. Fiber art is a style of fine art which uses textiles like fabric, yarn, and other fibers, and focuses on the materials used and on the work involved by the artist as part of its importance. A quilt is a type of blanket made of 3 layers. A top piece of cloth, a layer of insulating material, often called batting, and a bottom piece of cloth for backing. The layers are all joined together either by sewing or by tying the layers together with pieces of yarn, thread, or ribbon. Sometimes we use quilts as blankets or bedspreads, something beautiful but also useful. And sometimes quilts are created as works of art to enjoy and even learn from. One of the oldest story quilts we know of was completed in 1886 by Harriet Powers. Her quilts focused on Bible stories and historical events. Harriet Powers was born into slavery near Athens, Georgia, and learned to sew from other slaves on her plantation. She became a freed woman and created 2 known story quilts that hang in museums today. They are both beautiful examples of her early American piece quilting style as well as her West African heritage. Gee's Bend is a community living on the Alabama River in rural Alabama that started as a cotton plantation. After the Civil War, freed slaves settled in the area. The women of Gee's Bend began quilting as a necessity, but also to spend time together. Quilters would take apart old clothing and use every last bit of it as they created colorful and creative quilts together. For generations, women in Gee's Bend have quilted while fighting poverty, isolation, and prejudice. Although their quilts gained national attention in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, it is in the 1990s that the quilts of Gee's Bend were heralded as brilliant works of modern art, and they continue to be very popular with art and quilt lovers still today. Let's get started on this week's project. You can download and print the If I Could Fly Anywhere worksheet off of your Canvas page, or you can just grab a piece of white paper for this project. I'm going to show you what to do if you don't want to download and print the worksheet, but want to draw it all yourself. You're going to need a ruler or a straight edge. If you don't have a ruler, you can use a box, a book, or even a magazine. Anything that is straight and is longer or at least as long as the paper you are drawing on. Begin by drawing about a 1-inch border around the edge of your paper. Add 1 more line on the bottom. Mine's about 1/4 inch to create a box to write in when we finish our drawing. Now we are going to create our quilted border. As we learned earlier, a quilt is made up of scraps of fabric pieced together. Imagine that our drawings are the same. I'm going to begin by drawing about 1-inch squares all around the edge of my paper. Remember, this doesn't have to be exact, just have fun with it. If you are using crayons, you will want to make the boxes a little larger, since crayons are larger than markers or colored pencils and are harder to do small details with. And now you're going to fill your boxes with fun repeating designs. By repeating these designs over and over, we will create patterns around the border of our paper. I am creating blocks with stars, hearts, stripes, swirls, and even crazy unpredictable lines. But you can come up with your own ideas for patterns. After you have filled in all your blocks, you can begin coloring them. You can also create patterns with colors. I will color my designs in before outlining with a black marker so that the black marker doesn't get pulled into my bright colors. To complete this week's part of our If I Could Fly project, go ahead and outline all your pencil lines with black marker. And my bright quilt border is complete. If you don't want to use markers or don't have them at your house, crayons, colored pencils, or paints will work as well. Here's an example of a quilted border using crayons. Okay guys, that's it for this week. Remember, this is the last week of the first 6 weeks, so be sure to submit a photo or video of your work into Canvas by Friday, February 26th. Have a great week and make sure you save your papers for the second part of our project next week. Bye!